The sky over Germany in December 1943 was a graveyard of aluminum and silk at 27,000 feet. The air was 60 degrees below zero, so cold that a drop of sweat could freeze your eyelids shut in seconds. Inside a B-17 flying fortress named the Olde Pub, a young American pilot named Charlie Brown was living a nightmare. This was his first mission as a commander, and it had gone wrong in every possible way. His bomber had been shredded by anti-aircraft fire and swarmed by German fighters. Half of the tail was gone, one engine was dead, another was failing. The oxygen system had been destroyed, causing the crew to slip in and out of consciousness. In the back of the plane, the situation was even worse. The waist gunners were frozen and wounded, and the tail gunner was dead. The Olde Pub was no longer a war machine. It was a flying sieve, a massive hunk of metal barely staying in the air, drifting alone over the heart of the Third Reich. Charlie Brown looked at his co-pilot and saw only exhaustion. They were 300 miles from home, and they were defenseless. Then, through the shattered cockpit window, Charlie saw a shadow. A Messerschmitt Bf-109, the deadliest predator in the German sky, was closing in. The pilot was Franz Stigler, a Luftwaffe ace who was just 1 kill away from earning the Knight S-Cross, Germany's highest honor. Stigler saw the battered B-17 and moved his finger to the trigger. This was the easiest kill of his life, but as he drew closer, he didn't fire. He looked through the holes in the American fuselage and saw the wounded men inside, trying to help each other. He saw the terror in their eyes. Franz Stigler was a man of honor, trained by a commander who told him, "If I ever hear of you shooting at a man in a parachute, I will shoot you myself." To Stigler, this B-17 was a parachute made of metal. He couldn't pull the trigger, but he knew that if the German flak batteries on the ground saw the bomber, they would blow it out of the sky. He had to make a choice: finish the job and become a hero of the Reich, or risk everything to do the unthinkable. Before we witness the moment, Franz Stigler pulls alongside the American cockpit and begins the most dangerous escort mission of the war. I want to ask you, does mercy have a place in the middle of a world war? If you believe that even in the darkest times, humanity can shine through, please hit the like button and subscribe. We are telling the stories that prove history isn't just about hate, but about the choices we make. Now, back to the frozen sky over Germany. All images black and white. Charlie Brown looked to his right and froze. The German fighter was so close he could see the pilot's face. He expected the flash of the cannons at any second. He told his crew not to fire, knowing that a single shot from their jammed guns would end them all, but the German didn't fire. Instead, Franz Stigler began to gesture wildly with his hands. He was pointing toward the ground, trying to tell the Americans to land in Germany and surrender. He knew their plane would never make it across the North Sea, but Charlie Brown didn't understand. He thought the German was taunting him. He kept the B-17 on its course, limping toward the English Channel. Stigler, realizing the Americans wouldn't land, did something even more radical. He flew his Bf-109 right next to the B-17's wounded wing, shielding it from the German anti-aircraft batteries on the ground. The German gunners below saw the silhouette of a Messerschmitt protecting the bomber and held their fire, confused by what they were seeing. For miles, the hunter and the prey flew wingtip to wingtip. It was a silent pact between two enemies who had found a common bond in the face of death. Stigler was risking a firing squad for treason. Every minute he spent in the air with the Olde Pub was a minute he could be spotted by his own side, but he stayed. He stayed until they reached the open water of the North Sea. He looked at Charlie Brown one last time, offered a crisp military salute, and peeled his fighter away, disappearing into the clouds. Charlie Brown miraculously landed the Olde Pub back in England. When he told his superiors what happened, they told him to keep it a secret. They didn't want the public to hear that the enemy could be merciful. Franz Stigler also kept his mouth shut, knowing that telling the story would mean his death. For 46 years, both men lived their lives, haunted by that day in the sky, wondering if the other had survived. In 1990, Charlie Brown finally decided to find the man who had saved him. He placed an ad in a pilot's newsletter, thousands of miles away, in Canada, and old Franz Stigler read it. When they finally met, they didn't meet as enemies, but as brothers. Stigler told Brown, "I didn't have the heart to finish those brave men. I flew beside them for a long time. They were trying desperately to get home, and I was going to let them do it." Franz Stigler and Charlie Brown remained close friends for the rest of their lives, dying within months of each other in 2008. Their story is a powerful reminder that even in the middle of the most brutal conflict in human history, the human spirit is not bound by uniforms or borders. They were two pilots who looked past the machines of war and saw the men inside them. Thank you for watching this tribute to the B-17 and the Messerschmitt. History is full of shadows, but sometimes those shadows are cast by light. I'm your host, and I'll see you in the next mission. Keep the humanity alive.